All right. Today's SPY was down 0.04%, so we went absolutely nowhere. And as far as price action goes, we really didn't break through any new levels today because in order to get bullish, we need to break that resistance at 430. Now, if you don't mind catching a falling knife, I still believe above 420 it's possible we're going to 460, but below 420, if we break below it, we're likely entering a deeper bear trend, so do keep that in mind. It's only okay to catch a falling knife if you know exactly where to manage your risk from, and that's why I continue to tell you that level is going to be 420. Now, if SPY can break 430, we'll be looking for a resistance at 436 and then that gap fill just above 438, and that is going to be very strong resistance, so not easily broken. We still do have the bear trend and price action is still below all the moving averages, so you really should wait for that resistance to break at 430 if you do not want to try to catch a falling knife. This is a downtrend until we break out of the lower highs and lower lows configuration. On the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we were up 0.83% today, and the triple Qs are still relatively the strongest. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The triple Qs did not get a significant lower low breakdown like we saw in the rest of the indices. That doesn't mean it won't, it simply means it hasn't, and the price action is now back over the 5 EMA for the second day in a row as we continue to push higher towards that gap close above 364. Now, it's possible we fill that gap and still go make the lower low right around 347, so do keep that in mind. So that gap fill and that resistance between 364 and about 367 is going to be critical. On the Dow Jones, we were down 0.26% today, and you can see the Dow Jones is still looking bearish with the bear trend and the price action below all the moving averages and getting very close to filling that gap below 332. This is why I tell you gaps typically get filled, because that gap has been open all the way back since June and we are just now starting to fill it, and it's very likely we're going to fill that gap before we break out of this downtrend. So look for critical support down here right around 331 to 332, and if we break that, we're going to 327. And in order to get bullish, we would have to break above all these moving averages, which means we need to get all the way back into the 340s. On the Russell 2000 IWM ETF, we were down 1.51% today, and the Russell broke down to another closing low on the break below 174, and if we continue below 174, we're likely going down to the gap fill at 171.56 and the previous range low at 170. Now, I do expect 170 to hold as support, and from there we would likely get a relief rally that could take us all the way back up to 180. So it is possible we find support between 170 and 174, and as long as we hold this support zone, we could easily rally back up to 180 before going any lower. On the ARKK ETF, we were down 1.59% today, and we got rejected from the negatively sloping 13 EMA, and there's still the chance we're putting lower highs and lower lows until we fill the gap at 36. So do not get bullish until we break above all these moving averages and reverse the downtrend. On the VIX, we were at 0.51% today, and the VIX tried to break above 18 but failed yet again. And this is what you want to see if you're bullish, because the VIX above 18 means we're likely going into the 20s, and that is going to lead to high volume panic selling. If the VIX can crush from 18 to 15, that should give us some kind of bull rally, even if it's only short-lived lower high. On Bitcoin, we're currently down 1.3%, and Bitcoin was trying to break that resistance at 28,000, but as you can see, it was outside the upper Bollinger Band, and it's currently getting rejected. Now, we are building up the bull trend the longer we can hold above 27,000, so that is going to be a critical support to see if the bulls can continue this higher high and higher low breakout. Above 28,000, we have the bull breakout, and that could tell us that we hit the bottom at 25,000, and that could mean that we're starting into another bull trend. On Tesla stock, we're at 0.55% today, and Tesla is holding that critical support right around 240. And if we can bounce from 240 and break resistance at 255, we will be looking for a gap fill at 262, and then the previous resistance higher at 274. Above 274, I think we're breaking out and going into the 300s, but on the way there, we would look for a gap fill around 290 and resistance right around 296. If we can't hold this support at 240, then we're looking for 230, and then below 230, we're looking for the gap fill below 218. On Apple stock, we were up about 1.5% today, and Apple was very close to filling the gap at 167 2 days ago, but as you can see, we bounced without filling the gap, and we're now sitting at the resistance, which was the previous support, which is that critical level at 174. So it's completely possible Apple is just bouncing to a lower high at 174 and then still going down to fill the gap. But if we break above 174 and start breaking out of this downtrend, we also have a gap to fill up here just below 181.5. So in order to get more bullish on Apple, we need to break above 174 and hold it as support. And you can stay bearish on Apple while it's below 174. So jumping back over to the S&P 500, this is clearly still a downtrend, and during this pullback and correction, we've seen relative strength in the triple Qs, but that could change quickly, and there are reasons to be very cautious. So know these critical support zones, and if we break below them, we need to manage our risk and get a lot more bearish. I still think this is a bull market, but we need to let the price action do all the talking. And if the price action is bullish, it should stay above 420. And if it doesn't, that's telling us a lot of information that we can't ignore, and we're going to have to get bearish. So if you're a long-term swing trader, it's still okay to buy long swings. Just manage your risk at critical support, knowing if we break below it, you need to manage your risk, and you cannot let small losses turn into large losses. We are absolutely crushing this market on the Stocks Channel Discord server and BANC Trade Alerts, and this is your last day to claim the Labor Day sale on BANC. So if you want to try BANC, or you're an existing member that wants to upgrade to the annual plan, now is your last chance to get those savings. I'll put all the coupon codes in the description below. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market, and as always, I will see you in the next episode.